I think you can play the Doctor, but I think you've got to master your British accent.
Yeah.
You know, I think the Doctor has to speak with a British accent, for me anyway, but maybe he doesn't, I don't know, but I think in Britain there'd be outcry. So just practice your accent.
How old are you, Logan?
9.
Okay, you got a few years to work on it.
Yeah, maybe like, and also if you do it younger than me, then I'll have lost my record. So wait until you're after 26. And if you do it younger than me, honestly, like people just moan at you. They're like, you can't be the Doctor, you're too young. But I'm sure you'll make a great Doctor, my man. So go for it, go for it.
Thanks, Logan. Hi, oh, we got another little guy, another Fez. Hi.
Hey.
What's your name?
Adrian,
Hey, Adrian.
Hi, Adrian.
What's your question, Adrian?
what's your favorite soccer team?
Oh, that's the best question I've had in ages. Blackburn Rovers is my soccer team, my friend. But we're not doing very well. You know, we got relegated a couple of seasons. I mean, don't get me started. It's a painful existence, but you know, you stick with your team. So Blackburn Rovers is my team, even though they put me through weekly pain.
Adrian, what's your favorite team?
Yeah, who's your team? Minneapolis Soccer United. Yeah.
Ricky,
Reading? Wow, they finished one place above Blackburn this year. Like a point above. That's an interesting. Why Reading? Right, and he lives in Reading. Bracknell. Where's that? Is that near Reading? I was going to say, never go to Reading. I mean, not a lot there. Oh, cool. Well, go Bracknell.
Thanks, Adrian. I think we could do a whole panel on soccer alone, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
I could talk about football all day.
Yeah.
If you keep calling it soccer, I am going to self-combust. It's football! And it's rubbish! It's not trash! You crazy Americans!
And that's why a British actor has to be the Doctor. Yeah. Hi.
Hey man, I'm John.
What's up, John?
I want to know what your favorite football position to play is.
Oh, these are getting better. Centre back. And it's defence, not defence! No, I'm only joking. Yeah, I was, so that's basically, it's like a defender. I don't know who plays there for the US national team, but yeah. Cool, yeah.
Hi, do you have a question about British culture or anything? Or?
Hi, no, I was wondering if you could make the TARDIS sound.
It's really hard. It's like, I mean, I had to do it in an episode and I couldn't do it, so I thought maybe it's funny to do it badly, so it's like... There you go.
Thank you.
I'm always afraid it's going to lead to like an asthma attack or something.
Yep.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, I'm Annika.
Hi.
I was wondering what your favorite villain from Doctor Who has been over all the years.
Oh my lord, that's a great question. So, see, interestingly, villain and monster are sort of two different things somehow. I think, okay, monster is the weeping angel for me, definitely. Can we count that as a villain? Or is a villain more like, I thought the Dream Lord was really good. I thought he was cool. Toby was really great. And I thought, I liked Helen McCrory in Vampires in Venice, you know, the big like fish monster. Just because she was really sexy as well. Yeah, fish vampires are great, aren't they? And what else is there? Let me think. I mean, and you know, you can't really have Doctor Who without the Daleks. So somewhere between those two or three, I think. Thank you.
Did you relish being your own villain when you played sort of the evil Doctor, the
Yeah,
Cyberman
yeah.
Doctor?
Because actually, I think if the Doctor was a villain, he'd be the best villain on the planet. You know. So that was cool. Yeah. It was that was interesting.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Jonna.
Hi.
Who is your favorite doctor?
Well, it's tricky because I know like 3 of them. So I first came to Doctor Who and I watched Chris and David, and I really love Chris and David because you know what it's like, you come to Doctor Who and you're like, oh, and then you land. But then I started going back as well and I started watching a lot of Patrick Troughton. And I love him, so somewhere between those 3, and I love them all for different reasons. Like I love Tom's sort of whimsy and madness, but at a push, I'd have to probably say Troughton because I think he's got the best sort of doctory face.
Thank you. Hi there.
Hi, I'm Dana.
Hi, Dana.
So I hope you love Harry Potter because I love Harry Potter.
Hey,
and
I met Draco Malfoy the other day. He's cool. We got really drunk on a plane. It was great. We had a great time. It was like the best flight I've been on. We like all said, we were like, well, what should we do? We've got like 3 hours. We're like, let's have a couple of glasses of wine. We're like, all right, like a bottle later. And then, you know, Karen was tweeting photos. He was cool. I really liked Tom.
is he your favorite character? Because that was going to be my question.
Oh, do you know what? He might be. I've got to say, I think Rafe is really good as Voldemort. I think he's pretty brilliant. But yeah, I think Draco. Yeah, let's go with Draco, man. He's cool.
I feel like a lot of nerd hearts just exploded by that announcement. that you're hanging out with Draco and drinking wine. And a whole genre of fan fiction was just born, right?
And we were literally like going, you know, it was me going, so what was Harry Potter like? And him going, so what was Doctor Who like? And we were just gossiping, it was great.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Eva.
Hi.
So there's probably been a lot of great pranks pulled on the show. What's the funniest thing that's happened between you and Karen?
Oh my god, I mean, it's a daily. Like, even now, like, I just look at her and go, God, you're ridiculous. No, I mean, every day. I always used to hide in her trailer. And so it would be lunchtime, I'd like sneak off early and I'd hide in her cupboard and I'd wait. She'd come in like, ooh la 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 la, and then I'd go, ah! And Karen's quite jumpy, so she'd like one time she cried.
Well done.
I was like, yes. No, I mean, there's so many. Just so many.
She mentioned a shoehorn incident.
Did she? What happened?
She said you terrified her with a shoehorn. Am I right, Minneapolis?
Wow, I can't remember. Probably. I mean,
she was using this entire crowd to try to plot against you today.
Oh, guys, really? Wow. Okay. She's laid down the gauntlet. That's fine.
Yeah.
I can take it. Yeah, she's good to wind up, Karen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, I would like to know if you could travel as any of the Doctors at all, including the classic series, to anywhere with any of the companions, what would you know?
Right, so pick any episode.
Anything.
I would do Tomb of the Cybermen with Troughton.
You would be traveling?
Yeah, just because that's my favourite episode of Doctor Who that I'm not in, of course. There were no weeping angels back then, Trouters. No, just because I think it's... and actually, I think that's the best Cyberman episode that there's been. Because they're so weird and those lovely pots that they have. Some of you younger guys don't remember. It's only the old boys in the audience that will remember. Who remembers Tomb of the Cybermen? Yeah, you see, it's much lower, like, yeah, we do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I typed mine down because my brain's turning to custard.
Of course.
Growing up, were you a fan of Doctor Who? And do you have a favorite episode of all time?
Well, I was part of that bleak generation. It wasn't on the telly when I was a kid. You're all going to hate me for this, but so I got the script through for the 11th hour, having never watched an episode of Doctor Who. Yeah. Do you know I've never seen all of the Star Wars movies? I've seen the good 3. And I can't wait for the next 3. But then I started the other ones and I was a bit like, oh, I don't know. Like, I've seen the good ones. Not that the other one, making enemies, film studios, but yeah, like I've seen the Star Wars movies, but not all of them. It was the Revenge of that one I haven't seen. But in England it's sort of like I remember sort of seeing it on the telly. But the thing is, it isn't my fault because it wasn't on the telly. And then it came back on the telly, and it was. Is that me or you? Yeah. No, sorry. How terrible. It's probably my mother. It's actually the former executive producer of Doctor Who, Piers Wenger. But yeah, sorry, I'm digressing. So then I bought a rabbit. No. And I named him Clive, and actually he was red. No, and my favourite episode is actually Tomb of the Cybermen. Or I like that baker one in Paris. That's cool. Yeah.
Thanks.
Longest and most appalling answer ever, but.
A follow-up to that is when you were announced, when your casting was announced, what was the very first news article that you read about it, and was it positive or negative?
Oh, well, there was a lot of negative. It was like, what? 26? We hate you. And I was like, please don't hate me, I'm alright. I don't know really, like, I try and avoid reading, like, I try and avoid going on the internet, because some people are really mean. And so, yeah, I just sort of, I don't know what the first one I read was. It was probably in a British newspaper or something, you know. Yeah, it was a strange time. Cool time.
Well, we love you now.
Oh,
but only because you didn't say you love the prequels of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Matt. My name is Craig.
Hey.
Hey. So I think it's kind of an understatement to say that The Day of the Doctor was a great episode. It was brilliant.
Cool.
And I think we can all say that. And, the performances and everything was great. Thank you. And I just wanted to lead up to that again with a little backstory of mine to get back to that.
A short backstory, though, right?
Very short. Yeah. Very short. No, but I actually ran into Tom Baker in 2007 at Charing Cross Station in London.
Yeah.
And that scene in Day of the Doctor reminded me so much of my encounter with him.
Yeah.
And I just want to ask you, it was surreal for me to run into him.
Yeah.
How was that for you to run into Tom, to act with him, to talk to him?
It was amazing. I mean, I spent a day with him, and it was, you know, in our world, Tom is a complete legend, you know, so in the land of Who, it was just great, you know, to sort of catch up with him, and he's sort of everything you want him to be. He's pretty mad. And in a good way, you're like, oh, I'm pleased Tom Baker's quite mad. And he was cool, man, and you know, he's Tom Baker. You know, and that scene was such a secret. No one knew. And then the first screenings and stuff. I mean, did any of you have any idea? Or did you watch it with lots of people? And was there a big? Because I sometimes wish I was in the audience and kind of was there a, oh no way? Was it that? Were people like, and did you know when you heard the voice? Even though it was just on the back of his head. So we did a good job with that bit then. There you go. So it was cool though.
He told me on a phone interview.
Tom, I know.
He just went rogue.
He was really, like, because he's quite mad. He's just like, whatever, yeah. Did you print it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The BBC was not happy.
I bet.
But no, they so they were not happy about him saying that in the interview, but we came to an official statement of, you know, I was like, well, he just said in an interview.
Yeah.
Like, okay, can you say this officially from the BBC? So we came to an agreement. But yeah, he was just like, I'm like, are you in the Day of the Doctor? Well, yes, I am. And he just goes for it.
Yeah.
He still acts like the doctor.
I know. And so he should.
So he should, yeah. Hi there, with the fez. There's a lot of fezzes, sorry. I should be more specific. The fez at the microphone over there.
Yeah, you with the fez. Me?
For $20, would you burn a fez?
Oh no, I can't hurt a fez, man.
How about for $2,000 if somebody asks you that?
I think you got to keep your money and spend it on, or like, you know, maybe open a fez sanctuary or something. Also, dude, you shouldn't be burning things at your age, man. That's a slippery slope.
The kid went from 20 to 2,000. I want to see where he's going with this.
You're a high roller, man.
There's also fire code issues in this building, I think. Hi.
Hi, I'm Geneva. This is a great birthday weekend.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 15.
Good age. / terrible time to be a teenager. But it's gonna get better, so.
Okay, so when you came in as the 11th Doctor, how did it feel knowing you had a legacy of 10 previous amazing Doctors? How did you live up to that?
Well, you know, it's quite a sort of intimidating thing, and it's an honour, but it's something that you have to forget about, really, because you have to carve it out in your own way, and I hope that my Doctor feels different to the other Doctors, I just try to do it. I just try to follow my instincts, really. Yeah.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Hi.
My name's Marley.
Hi.
Who told you that you were going to regenerate on the show, and how was your reaction to it?
Well, I told them I was going to regenerate. And Stephen's reaction was, don't. And it was sad, you know, because it's a very difficult show to leave, because I love it, and it's never, no job will ever be the same, no set of fans will ever be the same. And you know, me and Karen talk about that all the time. So we travel around the USA, meeting you all, because it's something, you know, you guys are, like, genuinely, and I'm not trying to just suck up to you here, but it is, you know, this show is unique because of the type of fan that it has, and the fact, and what's interesting about America is it's a much more cult thing here. But what I've been really pleased about, actually, is over the past, and we often talk about this, over the past couple of years, I've seen more and more kids coming to these events and coming to the show, and because in England it crosses, you know, the sort of the age divide. Kids from like 4, 5, 6 to grandma and granddad watch it, but here you don't really have those shows apart from like the X Factor and Pop Idol and stuff like that. So it's good that there's kids watching it.
My little brother and sister absolutely fell in love with the show when I started watching it.
Well, say hello from me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi there. I like your bow tie.
Thanks. Hi, my name is Abram.
Hey, buddy. You're looking good.
He's a sharp dresser.
You're a sharp dresser.
And my question is, what's the best thing being Doctor Who and the worst?
Oh, wow. The best thing about being Doctor Who is that you're Doctor Who. The worst thing about being Doctor Who is nothing. No, it's there's long hours and you get quite tired, but so what, you're the Doctor, it doesn't matter.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Oh, we got a little one over there. Mike is coming down.
Hey.
Working his way. Hi there.
Hi.
What's your name?
Hi.
Hi.
What's going on?
My name is Kara, and how did you become the Doctor?
Well, that's a good question. So for me, I read a a lot about a man who was a very clever scientist. He was called Albert Einstein, and he had funny hair, and he was like really clever. And then I also watched these television programs at home, and there's an actor called Peter Sellers, who was a character called Inspector Clouseau. And then I wrote lots of short stories about the Doctor, because I had a lot of time before I started. So I used to write short stories about the Doctor and Einstein travelling around the universe. And that's how I prepared. And then I panicked.
Thank you.
Good question.
We still want those published at some point, those
I know.
stories. Yeah.
Maybe I'll just come and read one at a convention. Very good. But, you know, yeah.
Hi there.
Makeup.
Hello, my name is Stan.
Hi, Stan.
Director, I just have a question. I read that your mom made some comments about finding out that you were going to leave the Doctor role, and I just wondered, could you give us a little dialogue as to
what she said?
Yeah, how did you explain that to your mom? Because I know how.
Oh yeah, and she was like, "Please don't leave, please don't." Because you know, for my mum, it's amazing. She can tell her friends, and it's a good show, and it's a family show, and it's not like, you know, some of the other stuff I've done. And she loves Doctor Who, and oh yeah, she didn't want me to go really, and I was like, well, Mum, I don't really want to go, but when you got to go, you got to go, and you know, God, I'm just waiting for the next anniversary so I can come back. I spoke to Stephen a couple of days ago. I was like, where's the quickest one that we can do? Yeah, so
51 and a half.
Yeah.
Just a, spur of the moment.
I know, yeah.
Thanks. Hi.
Hi, I'm Sam.
Hi, Sam.
My question is, if you could replace one companion with another companion.
Sam, you're veering into some dangerous waters here.
Buddy, you're killing me here, man. Yeah, go on. What would I do?
One of your companions with any other companion.
Well, okay, let me ask you this. Can you replace Amy? No. Can you replace Rory? No. Can you replace Clara? No. So, why don't we just swap them around? And why don't we bring Jenna into the 11th hour? Oh, I know, no. Listen, the thing is, of the other companions, it's like I'm lying to my girlfriend, isn't it?
This is what it seems like.
We just had dinner. It wasn't anything.
I just regenerated.
Yeah.
I was foggy.
I have no interest in Jennifer Lawrence. Honestly, it's not. Or Cameron Diaz. No, I would have loved, just because I'm great friends with her personally in my life, and I've been friends with her since before Doctor Who. I would love to work with Billy, so Rose. She's great fun.
That was good. That was the most diplomatic way.
I mean,
that was smooth.
That's my middle name. Man.
Yeah. Hi there.
Hi, my name is Antonia.
Hi.
My whole family actually first saw you in the murder movie that you did with Billy Piper.
Yeah, the Sally Lockhart mysteries. Yeah.
And
that's where we met. She's great, really.
We noticed in that movie that you have a whole lot of energy, and we watched you bring it to the Doctor, and we kind of wanted to know where you get it from, because we've only ever seen it in 2-year-olds, that much energy.
Yeah, I don't know really. It's a sort of I mean, honestly, I'm so clumsy, and when I'm on my own, like it's fine when you're with your friends because they're like, oh, Matt, you idiot, rah rah. But when you're alone, it's just depressing because you're like, there's no one here to laugh at me, and I've got to clean it up. I don't know really. I don't know. I just think like, isn't that the only way to live your life? really. Like, or maybe it's because I've got some sort of deep-seated problem and I need a lot of therapy. God knows. I don't know. It's the only... I don't know. It's just what I sort of wake up and just behave that way. Thank you.
Were you like that as a kid?
Yeah. I was a weird kid.
Yeah?
Yeah, honestly, if you feel really weird and you're young, don't worry. It gets better. Weird's okay. Weird's good. Yeah, there you go.
Weird is okay.
Yeah.
Weird is good.
Hi, my name's Ariel.
Hi. Wow, cool name.
Thank you. My question is actually one my mom came up with. If you could guest star on any TV show ever, what would it be and why?
Ever?
Yes.
Boom. Ever?
Or that's currently on.
No, but see, I usually get currently on, and I like the everness of it. It's a really tough one though. It's a really tough one. See, I don't want to go too British because I'll say something British and you'll be like, no idea what that is. So let's just have a think. I mean, I love Breaking Bad. That's great. I love, oh God. There was a British show called Some Mothers Do Have 'Em, which I love, which is really funny. That would be cool. I don't know, I'm not being very inventive. It's like, what's your favourite album? Then I go, I don't know. It's a very good question though. I'm going to think about it. And, yes.
There's a lot of TV shows out there to think about.
Yeah, there really is. What, Breaking Bad is a modern one that I'd be into because I think it's just really well crafted and made. Monty Python. Do you know what? That is a great shout.
Yeah.
Monty Python it is. Maybe The Meaning of Life, but maybe The Life of Brian. But that's a film. So maybe I'll just be in the deceased parrot sketch. Yeah.
That is a solid choice.
Oh man,
yeah.
Python is. We're proud of Python in England. We're like, yes, that was ours.
If I may, I could say silly walk with you. Ministry of the Silly Walk. You and Cleese, you can silly walk.
You know it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your best impression of an American accent?
Hey, yo, you got any bus boys back there? What am I gonna do? I don't know. I mean, it's like something like that, or it's something like this, or like the valleys are like, oh my God, you're so funny. Oh my God, you're hilarious. But they don't laugh. Why are you not laughing then? If you're telling me okay, it's weird. But...
Hi there.
I'm Elizabeth, and I was wondering which is your favorite classic doctor?
Troughton. Or Troughton, or As You Are Dressed. Baker. You're a classic doctor, you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hi there.
Hi, I'm Sammy.
Hi, Sammy.
Hi. What's the weirdest thing you've read about yourself on the internet?